Jonathan Hickman can write my life, because this man brought the X-Men into a new foundation so beautifully. House of X is amazing, and there's so much to talk about. Like, we have a lot to talk about. And hell, this may go on for 20 minutes, or this may go on for just a couple minutes, because, man, does House of X really get into a lot of things, from Ease to Extinction, to the Mutant Massacre, to more recent stuff to do with the X-Men. And it's really dope seeing this. And it's like, how they did it, and I'm sorry to hear that pun, I don't have a pop filter anymore, but, how they did it makes so much more sense. So, getting into the first page of it, and, everything. By the way, go buy the director's cut if you can. Because that shit helps out a lot with explanations and all that. But, pretty much, we fast forward to people actually planting these flowers. These flowers are gateway to KRAKOA. As soon as they bloom, only mutants can use this gateway to get to KRAKOA, because it recognizes non-mutants and mutants. And if you are a mutant, you're always welcome in KRAKOA. KRAKOA is an island hive mind that was pretty much dictated by these Emma Frost clone twins. Sophie, Esme, and I forgot the last one. There's 3 of them. And they are a hive mind, which means that they control and can listen to everything in the island. They're already extremely powerful by themselves, but together you have a force to be reckoned with around the telepathic community. Something that is so strong that Charles Xavier is even scared of it. And that is saying something. But Charles isn't scared right now. He's welcoming new mutants to KRAKOA because he knows that they will be welcomed. They won't be oppressed by humankind. Now again, I'm very knowledgeable on X-Men. I love the X-Men. Like, that is one of my favorite teams. I am the 6th most knowledgeable person on YouTube, with everyone else being at the top, like every other comic YouTuber. But, pretty much, as we get into it, Magneto was said to, Xavier was said to meet these people to be the ambassadors. The ambassadors are from Jerusalem and don't think this is a good idea, and think that they're planning on attacking and conquering Lincoln. While they want to get a tour of it, Magneto talks them down and says, hey, let's actually negotiate and speak for a minute, because all I really want is peace at this point, because it's what each of the leaders bring up, and I'll get into that a bit later, but they just really want peace. That's about it. Which means we go to our next thing, where we meet with Karima and a couple of other, mutants that aren't exactly known. Like, there's one named Cypher, who's able to decipher any language, like his fucking name implies, and he's able to tell them what the plants are saying, and saying, yep, this is definitely a mutant state. Then we get Karima. Now, she is an Omega Prime Sentinel. I think she's just a Prime Sentinel. There's Prime Sentinels, or organic Sentinels. Pretty much, they're Sentinels made up from people. Like, they are made like people. They are born, and they hunt down mutants. They hunt down whatever they're told to. The Omega Prime Sentinels are like cybernetic, think the androids from Dragon Ball, where they are still like Prime Sentinels, but they've been modified. And it's really dope seeing them. But they're not as majorly important as they're just, trying to rebuild Omega Prime Sentinels for some reason. I feel like they're going to attack KRAKOA at some point, and I don't feel like it's going to end well. Why? I feel like Magneto's already enough of a threat, but then you have the whole mutant population. Now, if you're wondering, I thought most mutants were taken out. Well, in House of M, yes, Scarlet Witch took away most of their powers. But most of their powers started to resurface back in Avengers vs. X-Men. You guys should read a lot of the current X-Men stuff, you would know that. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and do it, because that's a long, daunting task, and not all of it was good. There were some middle points in there that was not that great. But the most times that mutants were actually murdered and couldn't be brought back were during a mutant massacre. I forgot where it was, but it pretty much had a murder on Genosha, and multiple mutants were just wiped out by Sentinels. They were just killed, massacred, no touch. They were just dead, and it was insane. And that's pretty much why the X-Men are just fed up. I do not blame them one bit. So, KRAKOA. Now we get back to more of the important side, with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants pretty much being Sabretooth, Toad, and Mystique. They end up getting their ass handed to them by the Fantastic Four, which, honestly, did they really expect any different? And they capture Sabretooth. Now, of course, Cyclops comes, and he actually congratulates the Thing on his wedding, tried to have a friendly conversation so he can get Sabretooth. But Mr. Fantastic's not really for it. Like, he's like, yeah, I don't trust this. I don't like this amnesty thing you're doing with mutants that are breaking the law. What is a fair point? When you're going foreign soil and you break the law, you should be allowed to go to jail. I don't care if you're a mutant or not. You did something wrong. But Cyclops is actually more negotiable than he's ever been, saying, alright, cool, we'll come back for him later. Like, y'all can have him. Peace. And that's pretty much it. They kind of leave Sabretooth in the hands of the Fantastic Four, but he does explain why. He's like, look, it doesn't matter. We've been pretty much fucked over our whole lives. My family has been running, they've been captured, been hunted, been pretty much at the brink of extinction because humans don't like us. And he has a fair point. That has pretty much been happening their whole lives. And he's like, look, your son is always welcome to KRAKOA. We'll come back for him later. And we'll come back for Sabretooth. Which, again, that does happen. Although there's a lot of swearing in this book. But, you get back to Magneto and, like, one of the hive monsters is like, he has a gun. Like, he does not fully trust us. And me reading through his mind, you know, I don't feel comfortable. Which Magneto does take away the gun. He's like, the guy says it's for protection. He's like, that's how it always starts. Which is true. Someone that has opposite views of you, they're going to use a gun or something. This is what happens when you piss off Magneto, because he just takes all of the anything metal from him. He's like, it always starts with this. It always starts with protection, and you humans love your symbolism. So I'm just going to tell it like it is. I'm your new guy now, and you're going to love to enjoy that. And that's where the issue ends. And, yeah, Jonathan Hickman did an amazing job on this first issue. I wasn't going to review the series until we got to the first, like, 3 issues. Mainly because I wanted to give you guys bigger videos and try to actually, you know, do something with this. But this is fun. I like it. Definitely a different run. Definitely a different style. And definitely a more rebooted version of the X-Men. I'm glad that we're getting this because, again, the X-Men hasn't been treated that well. But with Jonathan Hickman or Chris Claremont, or even, like, just those people writing it, and I'm pretty sure there's some other great writers for it, but no one can really top this because there's a lot going on. And what I like about Jonathan Hickman, he explains so much, or he'll get like pulled things from other things that we weren't paying attention to. He even pulled stuff from Grant Morrison's run on the X-Men, which was mixed but mainly positive and a few negatives. But this is really great. And one thing I like, they explain Omega level mutants, how like Forge is a master in it, but he can lose it. But Magneto, no one knows his upper limits. There's so much really cool stuff that you need to read with this issue. And I suggest, if you can, get to the director's cut if you got the extra mozzarella, the extra moolah, the extra paper. But if you can only afford the normal edition, please go buy it and support this series. This is an amazing reboot of the X-Men, and I love it. So, what do you guys think? Tell us here in Nerd and Beyond. As you know, I am your host. You can no longer... I was going by Phantom on this channel, but I have my own channel for that, so you guys can check that out. But no, I will be going by Spectre on this channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.